Good morning. Sorry I got a late start today. I just was in bliss, so I didn't want to come back. So what's interesting to me is I'm sitting here and I'm kind of working with the decks before our reading, and the Seven of Swords is heavy on my heart, and I was like, okay. And you know how I am led to certain decks to use, and I'm using this one. And I'm also using Tasha's Divine Guidance deck. She sells her deck, by the way, so if you want her deck, you can go to her site and check it out. All right, Seven Swords. I was looking at this and I was like, oof. You know, it's like so much all in one card. And I thought maybe it'd be good to kind of like break it down so that we understand what this card means and why I'm being called to talk about it today. I feel like many of us are experiencing what this card represents. And, you know, it very much could be triggering. It very much could be in your face. It very much could be with those who are closest to you. And you're really being guided to kind of like go within for guidance. Trust your intuition. Trust what you pick up that doesn't feel right or make sense or just doesn't sit right with your gut. So I feel like here's some of the reason why I'm being asked to focus on this card. I feel like many of us have this going on with people around us. So I feel like the advice today is going to be about like how to navigate this best and what do you need to be advised of, okay, when it comes to outside circumstances. All right, so sevens represent challenges, responsibilities, and personal development. And so this card has a man. He's the shepherd, actually, that's in charge of the flock behind him. And there's a wolf. And there's a wolf that is taken over one of his sheep. And he is running away from the situation. He has swords in hand, and 4 swords are in a backpack, but it looks like they're stabbing him at the same time. Okay, the angels are above him, kind of watching and observing this. And so the wolf represents that like eating a sheep that he has just attacked, and the wolf represents a moral instinct. There's nothing wrong with killing livestock from the wolf's point of view. He wanted to do it and he did it. All right, so remember that. The man is the shepherd and is running away from the scene behind him. Okay, so he's fleeing the scene of the crime. He has failed to protect his flock, with one animal dead and the rest abandoned, in danger. This represents shameful behavior, irresponsibility, and running away from the scene of a crime. The sheep crook is laying on the ground. It's wooden. It's the shepherd's tool that symbolizes an abdication of responsibility. So with that tool abandoned on the ground, this is representing someone abandoning responsibilities. The swords and the daggers that are carried by hand and backpack, these blades represent mental excuses and rationalizations for abandoning his duties. Take note that the 4 swords in the man's backpack appear to be stabbing him in the back. So even though he's thinking he's getting away with something, he's still harming himself with excuses and lies and manipulations. Another possibility is that the man has stolen the words. So swords represent words, in which case these could represent stolen ideas, plagiarism, writing or hacked information, or personal identity theft. Angels taking the form of clouds. The 2 angels are disturbed by the scene below. They represent moral authority and personal conscience. So this is like the direct meaning is self-deception, trying to deceive others. There's rationalizing bad behavior. There's thinking you're getting away with something and sneaking off. There's irresponsibility and running away. There's theft, plagiarism, hacked information. Okay, so for some reason, I feel like this is important for us to have clarity on today. And then, yeah, I feel like your ancestors are helping you, okay? And I feel like it has something to do with this, like, Seven of Swords energy. Look at, here's the player, okay? Like, immoral with no integrity. False masculine, low vibe, watch for red flags. May have lost a job and got fired. I feel like someone's being exposed. And legal issues are happening. Okay, so I feel like here's what's playing out over here. All right, heads up. Heads up, people, heads up. All right, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna shuffle on camera so y'all know these are shuffled beforehand, but nonetheless, okay, who are we talking about? Water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, so heavy emotions too. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a water sign per se, but heavy in the water energy, okay? I feel like emotions can also be running high. Karmic family members are involved here. Okay. So there's a lot of like manipulation here for the sake of control. It's like controlling a narrative, okay? You're being protected by the angelic realm, okay? So, you know, I feel like your mind is super important. You're like a powerhouse when it comes to your thoughts and how they create. So, really important that when things come up for you that you find a way to like redirect your thoughts, okay? All right, and then again, karmic connection. Someone's learning a lesson here. Or you learned a lesson. All right, we're gonna have these 4 cards up here, and then we're gonna kind of like get more info, okay? All right, please tell us what's up with this. All right, so all right, let's shuffle. High Priestess. All right, yeah, that's what's up. What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up? I think someone tried to control a narrative about High Priestess. Okay. Let's see. Let's do it. Yeah, Lovers. Choices. Okay, Magician. Nice. What's that? Emperor. Wow. High Priestess. Knight of Swords. Yeah. Look at. This is what I'm getting. I'm getting someone who is a water sign tried to create some sort of lies, deception, narrative, right? Someone spoke a lot of ill will on somebody, and it was someone who, you know, had some sort of knowing. There's some, it's like, yeah, I feel like somebody involved others in this to some sort of like bully a High Priestess. Dang. What's this? You want this in the upright? Upright? Okay. Yeah, there's a new beginning here. New beginning. New timeline even. The Lovers, the Magician, the Emperor, and the Fool. Wow. I feel like this lesson learned helps free you of karmic debt. Because with the Fool card, there's no lessons being repeated. Like, you're free and clear here. Yes. I feel like you could be learning. Okay, so with the Magician here, I have that, like, this is a master teacher. Okay, I feel like there's self-mastery playing out here. So you could be on, like an ascension, awakening, some sort of, like, I'm getting like a bit of like law of gender, law of opposites here with this card, specifically as it relates to like the magician and what the magician knows and what the magician teaches and practices. And then with the emperor, I have like authority and leadership and power and like position here. And then I have the fool, and then I have the high priestess. So I'm getting like there's a coming together here, okay? There's a coming together here with this Lovers card, all right? And I feel like, you know, this was through a process of like initiation too. And I'm also getting like it represents something that was created, and as above, so below, because that's what the magician represents too, is the laws of the universe, okay? And then I have the high priestess, okay? So I'm getting like this could be a bit of union energy. So let's see what else we get. The devil, look at this. Yeah, okay. So there's eyes on this, okay? There's definitely eyes on this. And there's outside interference too. Karmic family members involved, karmic connection and lessons here. Being protected by the angels. So I just heard that song, that phrase, can't touch this. Can't touch this. Look at angels are with you and are protecting you. Like, yeah. That's hilarious. This is some heavy divine guidance, okay, with the Temperance angel, bottom of the deck, as well as the Lovers. Okay, this is divine intervention. This is like heavy presence of the angelic realm here. So you very well could be, you know, of this realm. Okay, angels are with you and they protect you. So that's like 333 for me when it comes to any type of confirmation in a reading. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. I feel like you're here to help guide others through, all right, through it. So this could be like your bridge, your natural bridge. And you've been like in training, okay? You've been learning on the job. Look at this, learning on the job as I say it. 8 of Pentacles. Thank you. Yeah, you've been learning on the job. I feel like whatever you're working towards, I feel like, you know, it's for your growth and development. And through that growth and development, you're helping, you know, those who are around you. So you learning what you came here to learn and putting it into practice is really creating an elevation for you, a lot of growth for you, a lot of potential, a lot of doors opening, all that kind of wonderful energy. I feel like you've worked through your emotions, you've balanced yourself, you've prioritized your peace, and that affects your physical reality. And I feel like you're starting to see all of that hard work pay off. So I feel like you moderate yourself and what you surround yourself with. Like you're the one in charge of your life, right? You're the one that's making decisions as to what's being included in here for balancing, recalibrating, harmonizing. All right, you're the one in charge. Before, that might have been imbalanced. You might have been like people pleasing and things like that. We all learn through our experience. That's why we're here. We're here to learn and apply what we learn, okay, as a magician. Empress energy and Emperor energy. So divine feminine, divine masculine, heavy presence here, and balancing that within, okay? So also very important is to like harmonize that. And so as within, so without. And that is where the Lovers come in. Very beautiful. This is like a beautiful message of like, you know, things are in motion, in progress. They're playing out in your divine timing. You know, if there is work to be done in some sort of union, whether that's within, so without, you know, it could be in a relationship dynamic. That's what I'm picking up. I feel like that's the case. I feel like this could be something that you work together doing. Okay, there might be something that plays out here. So we'll see what some of the next messages are for this Strength. Okay, we're going to leave it where it is. So it's a strength card. Came flying out over the Emperor. Okay, Justice is playing out. Four of Pentacles. What fell on the floor? Hierophant. Hierophant. I amuse myself, don't worry. Okay, Strength coming out over the Emperor like this. Why is that? Let's see. Why, if you were pulling cards for somebody and you saw that the Strength card was over the Emperor and flew out like that, what would that tell you if you were the one sharing the tarot message? Put it in the comments because I want to know what you think. I would say someone is working through their... I feel like maybe they're working through a bit of their own, like, or they're trying to find confidence and courage. Okay, so there's something that is kind of like there could be a blockage. This also can represent a blockage. It also can be something that's in transition. Okay, so there could be something in transition here. All right, and then we have the Justice card coming out after the Empress. Okay. And then I have the Hierophant. Okay, so I feel like you have a spiritual calling here. All right, I feel like whatever you're meant to share, it's divinely guided, okay? And that is why you're probably so heavily protected in whatever you contribute towards. You may find that it's best for you to kind of surrender things in some cases because there's some sort of like unbiased energy that supports you. Okay, so I feel like you follow the rules too. Like you may be someone who while dealing with you I feel like, you know, there's this understanding that things need to be done with fairness, otherwise there's justice. There's some sort of like recognition of this. I feel like people realize that like there might be some sort of authority to you and they don't normally experience that with people. Maybe you kind of keep this to yourself. Like it's not something that like you bring up. Justice is here also because of that Seven of Swords. Okay, I feel like there was something that played out that was like super sketchy, right? To the point of like major karmic lessons playing out. There was a lot of karmic energy involved. And again, we saw the devil. The devil was kind of watching. So I feel like the devil's operating through these people, okay? Again, like you have angelic protection. I feel like part of this was a bit of like, for the sake of transition, moving and learning and applying what we've learned. So I feel like that's also the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is, you know, kind of indicating, all right, like what we've learned, how do we apply this in our day-to-day lives? How does this impact the world around us? How do we make things better for the future? So there's that too. Yeah. And then I have the Four of Pentacles. So it's like, how do we apply this in a way that it actually creates change instead of, you know, continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? So there's that. I feel like somebody may be resisting change. Six of Pentacles, I have this energy of like, okay, like spread the word, share the wealth, share the wisdom, like whatever you gained in the process can help somebody else. There may need to be a different exchange and the value of exchange. So maybe it's not monetary, maybe it's the intention and the energy, the vibration. Let's see what else we got with this. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune, karmic family members involved. Okay, there's an ending here. Okay, there's karma playing out for that. And then we have the Chariot. Angels are with you and protect you. Hi, you are an angel. That's what that's representing. Like, you're team angel. team God, team angel. So you're part of a larger effort. You're part of a larger mission. There was lessons learned for the sake of balance and calibration so that things can be initiated. Like, this is also a card of like having the perseverance, being able to overcome, being initiated, and moving towards something steadfast, like get out of the way or I'm gonna run you over kind of energy. Like like we don't got time for this kind of energy. Yeah, I love that. I love the Chariot. Why do I love the Chariot? Why? It's also Cancer energy, but it's about having will and like discipline and people underestimating you. And you're like, eat my dust. Look at Six of Pentacles comes out. Yeah, there was an energy that helped, you know, activate you into your purpose. And as a result of your experience with all of this, like your experience can help other people get through it themselves. So just you being a friend to somebody, you being supportive, loving, caring, kind, and just being like a kind, helpful person, knowing that like everybody needs, it takes a village, okay? The separation and all of that, it's unhealthy. So I feel like you're somebody who kind of like can spread a little love here. I'm getting like there was this energy of people also like giving to other people for the sake of like personal gain. And I feel like you learned that that's not for you. And so you removed yourself from this situation. Okay. You understood like, you know, you were giving and they were only receiving, and that's their intention. That's their energy. And you may have had to, you know, release this. Okay. Release this once and for all and choose yourself and your mission here. Very cool. All right, the Lovers. Okay, we have the Hermit. Interesting. All right, so someone's on a spiritual journey and path. I feel like this is something that, you know, is a contract. Okay, there's a contract. Yeah, I'm getting like there's this like having to go it alone on the path, but not for long. Not for long. Like there might have been this like isolation. So there could be separation right now is what I'm getting. I'm also like the two energies here that I'm getting, I feel like things are being illuminated. And so there's enlightenment here. So these souls are on the path of enlightenment. Okay. If you check this out, right? They're on the path of enlightenment. So they're being divinely guided. Okay. So like under the darkness, okay, is where they shine their light. Okay. Okay, again, I'm getting more of this energy, like divinely guided to interact with certain people, share certain things, and then continue to keep it moving. It's interesting. It's kind of like this path. What's happening after this Hermit? What's being illuminated? Are they illuminated? Yeah, they are illuminated. Okay. The illuminated ones. Okay, the World card. Wow. Wow. There's something that's coming like full circle here. And look, they're holding like, it's almost like they hold the key. There's this like energy of gnosis. Especially if this is clarifying the Magician. Like this is some gnosis. Oh boy. It's almost like, ooh, I have to be careful what I say. Yeah, okay. Let's just keep it moving then. So there's some sort of like completion in this. There's some sort of, okay, It's like I'm also seeing like the Ouroboros, right? Which is like the death and rebirth process is kind of what I'm getting. Wow. I feel like something is being written or something has been written, noted, scribed. You may feel like a scribe. You may scribe. You may also scry. You may have scrying abilities. So you pretty much can connect and access information that otherwise wouldn't be available. I feel like this is what you're being trained, or you've learned, or you've been initiated. There's something here. This is about like self-study, self-mastery. It's like the teacher becoming the master. It's like a graduation. Maybe you're graduating, maybe you're getting a master's. Congratulations, maybe a doctorate, something official. I feel like something like this could be a certification, this could be a promotion, this could be like completing a major cycle, like yeah, this could be this represents a lot for a lot of different people. I'm gonna kind of stick to a bit of more of the spiritual path message here versus like everyone's specific like ups and downs here, because we all have them, and I feel like we've all learned how to navigate them so much better. Like I feel like we're not as affected, whereas before I feel like, you know, there was this, not that we don't go through this devastating times, we certainly do, but I feel like we are able to kind of maybe get a bit of perspective, where before we would be immersed in all of this, and now I feel like we have a bit of a different perspective on things. I feel like we see and experience things differently because now we know how energy works and we know how the physical reality works. It's like we have this awareness that we didn't have before, which helps us navigate better. Okay, it helps us navigate. It becomes our light when it's dark, and we can't trust and believe everything we see here. However, when we tap in, we can. It's like being able to have that seal of protection around you as you are here to like create and navigate and accomplish what you came here to accomplish. I'm getting with the World card, whatever it is, you're accomplishing it. So I feel like this is like a confirmation that like all those woes, all of the things that were like the trials and tribulations, there was some serious expertise gained. There's some serious closure here. I feel like if whatever in the past didn't want to give you closure, I feel like you closed that shit yourself. Okay? You closed it yourself. All right, let's get the Strength and the Emperor. What do you want to say about that? Okay, look at 9 of Pentacles over the World card that I'm talking about. So this is like, it's almost, is this meant to be an upright? You want it on the side like this? So 9 of Pentacles, side position. I feel like this is a bit of a blockage. Okay, I feel like maybe the blockage could be, when it comes to this World card, is that there was opposition. There was energy coming against you to prevent you from being in this position of authority, being stable, being secure, being independent and sovereign in your own energy. So I feel like that's why you kind of operate in this energy as a hermit, because there is energy that wants to oppose this position that you hold. I feel like the devil, there's like this devil energy, okay? Trying to almost hold back this Emperor with the Strength card and the World card and the Magician with the 9 of Pentacles side position. So these are like opposing, okay? Because these, look at this. they're clarifying cards below them, but they're in opposition. So what do you guys think this means? Put it in the comments. Put the Strength card, Nine of Pentacles, opposition. Tell me what you think this means. If it's clarifying the World and the Emperor. Yeah, I feel like there's like, it's almost like there's like things playing out here right now. And there's also like the needing kind of to accept and step into something that allows this to be in the upright. So what would enable this to be in the upright and for it to no longer be a blockage? Let's talk about that. All right, so Nine of Pentacles requires someone to really be in a stable, grounded, secure position. Okay, and I feel like there's been a lot going on, and this accomplishment, this completion could be recent. Okay, so this could be a timing thing. And then I also have the Strength card, which was going this way. So what I'm getting is there's like this rise to power. It's like being your most authentic self, knowing that you deserve the position you hold and you have access to what you need when you need it. Okay, and owning this position, okay, and this authority. Okay, the Magician is like conscious awareness and having high level skills. Okay, so this is like accepting who you are and what you came here to do full-fledgedly. So this is like stepping into that energy, masculine or feminine, doesn't matter. All right, the Strength card and the Emperor is saying, yes, you are in that power. You're confident, you're secure, you're leading, you're empowering, you're motivating, like you have forgiveness for what's happened. You have managed the control of your inner beast, like your natural instincts. And as a result of that, like there's nothing holding you back. Okay, so that's the energy I'm getting here. All right. So really, allowing things to play out naturally, not trying to control the outcome, allows this to come in faster. All right. It's like understanding the shadow, understanding the light, and most importantly, knowing how things are created. And both are required and needed for creation. Understanding the laws of the universe, understanding, the lessons of life, and maybe even planting new seeds of creation here. Okay. So I feel like there is something that, will be a new beginning somewhere. Maybe not all the facts are known and they're not meant to be. So there's a bit of like hidden illusion, having to use intuitive abilities, maybe even some divination here. You could be learning as well. Okay, I have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, we got that at the bottom of the deck, the Seven of Swords. 3333 on the timer. 3333. All right, so I feel like it's being handled. Okay, it's being handled. I feel like the attempts to get away with abusing you and what you do and how you do it and who you are and all the things, I feel like you surrendered this to God and it's being handled. This person is trying to run away from their responsibilities. In the meantime, they're only hurting themselves. They may have done something immoral or lacked integrity, and as a result, there could be things that are being hidden, okay, that would be seen as a form of evidence against them. Okay, Devil at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I feel like they're running straight to, what they wanted. Okay. So they can run, but they can't hide. Is the whole point. Okay, I feel like they wanted to win at all costs, but I feel like victory lies with you, if there is such a thing. In that sense, I'm getting like this is you having the support you need to do what you came here to do, and that in itself is why you're not the victim in the situation. You're the victor. Okay, you didn't let what this person tried to do affect you, or take you down in any kind of way. If they wanted you to be a victim, that didn't work. Okay, they're in this victim mindset, not you. All right, and I feel like you help rally the troops, and you're someone who has great support, and it's about support. It's about surrounding yourself with those who support and love you and respect you, not those that want to trash you. Okay, because they don't value anything. All right, they can't protect what they have, and they're not willing to. They're not willing to protect what they have. Okay, and that's because they don't see value in themselves. How can they see value in others? Or maybe that's the whole point, is that they have some sort of confusion when it comes to what's truly important and what's valuable and what isn't valuable. Okay, so I feel like that's really important for us to navigate by, which is, okay, like, what one person values may not be the same, and as a result, like, that might be enough to have some sort of distance. Okay, some sort of discernment. If your values don't match up with people, listen, that's a basic thing. That's when you know, like, it's time to move on and find your tribe. You're being moved to peace. This is you prioritizing your peace. This is you moving to safety, which is fair and just. Okay, because this energy is still trying to come for you. Okay, and they're trying to come for what you do. All right, so know that. And I feel like whatever's going on, they'll be stopped in their tracks with the tower at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like what's coming for them is rightfully deserved. Okay, and I feel like while this is going on in the background, you're being moved to safety. Okay, they will be dealing with legal issues. We saw that earlier. Okay, they're going to be tied up. Okay, they could be literally tied up, spellbound or otherwise. I feel like it's up to God. Okay, surrender this to God. Literally. Okay, they're going to be experiencing what they put you through, and that is divine justice. And this is like, you know, spreading love, spreading light. Okay, understanding that the shadow and the light, right, they're what we're here to heal. And so I feel like you're meant to do that. You're meant to share this in some way, shape, or form. Okay, even if it's just you being a positive, loving, caring person. Okay, nothing wrong with that, my loves. Okay, let's see. I got a couple cards in here. I feel like this is about like starting over somewhere new. Okay, somewhere where there is, like, you know, happiness, joy, optimism, love, care, emotional and physical fulfillment. I feel like you're meant to experience this. You're meant to share this. Okay. Yeah, look at this energy here. All right, is doing some illegal shit. Stalking you online. Okay, being a troll, being a hater. Okay, affecting your business. Okay, that is where they're going to be hit first. If they're messing with you, guess what? Okay, in the near future, okay, their finances are going to be affected. Four of Pentacles. They're going to have to penny pinch. All right, they want to come for you. All right, sleeping with the enemy. Someone is realizing that they're sleeping with the enemy. They are not who they think they are. All right, they are not who they think they are. All right, look at legal issues coming out. Okay. Thank you. What else do you want to share regarding this message? Okay, air signs, earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They could be working together, okay, to spread whatever wisdom is needed, whatever service this is. This is like, giving and receiving energy. So that could be in numerous ways. But I have earth sign and air sign energy. What I'm getting is with the air sign, this would be like communication. This could be divine communication. And then this is like grounding it in the physical by sharing it with those that you come across. Okay. Maybe it's lessons learned through karmic relationships. Maybe it's a wisdom. Maybe it's a knowledge. Maybe it's a, I don't know. Let's create something. Creating a community, maybe. Could be all kinds of wonderful things. I feel like there's this navigation system that you operate by. And this is confirming the Hermit. Okay, like you receive divine guidance in numerous ways. I feel like this is you trusting this so that you can use it to navigate. Okay, navigating. Using your inner GPS. Okay, we're all being fine-tuned. Okay, to be in a readied position. Okay, because we're here to bring change and we need to be able to trust our inner GPS. Okay, so that's your intuition. That's your spiritual abilities. That's being able to tap into, energy or knowledge, wisdom, whatever that is. I feel like some of us are going to be putting this to practice as we manifest new work opportunities that are more aligned with our higher selves. All right, so this is you fine-tuning these abilities. If you need practice, come to the circle. We practice. I also do spiritual coaching one-on-one, and then I also offer courses coming soon. All right, guided towards your destined path and purpose. Yes, look at this is everything in preparation of. See all those pentacles? One step at a time, one lesson at a time. Like this took like many experiences here on Earth, many lifetimes maybe. Okay, this could also represent many lifetimes. All right, strength card. Yeah, I feel like you have overcome what was sent to take you out. Okay, you have become a very worthy opponent. Yeah, because it wasn't just that you and this energy were battling. They involved other people. Many people were involved in this effort against you, and they will be experiencing God's wrath and judgment. Okay, so there's that. Why is that? It's because of this. Someone is like, meant to create and do something here that, they're spiritually called to do. So there is no shame in their game. They're being divinely guided. You're being divinely guided to, be that prayer warrior, to be that, kind person people come across, for you to hold up, integrity and have morals and, hold people to account and stand up for your own sovereignty and, see through the illusions. Like that's your role here. And it's super important in whatever way that is. Like you could be a shop owner, you could be a practitioner, you can be someone who's a teacher, someone who's an influencer, someone who feels very strongly and inclined that you work directly for God in whatever way God sees fit. And I feel like you said yes. Look at, you said yes. You're going to say yes when this comes through. Whatever opportunity this is, whatever chance comes your way, whatever risk comes your way, use your discernment. But I feel like it's going to be unexpected income. Like this is going to be amazing. All right, so stay positive, okay? You have the power to create whatever you want to create. So if you've been manifesting, holy moly, okay, this energy here is going to go through an ego death. And it's like the only way that they're going to possibly learn the lesson, okay, because they're so stubborn. All right, stubborn as a mule, slandering, lying, defaming. They're a spiritual hater, okay? And that's just the way it is. Like, you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? Like, they still become fans, which is kind of funny. So thank you. All right. I feel like, this black magic, this spell work, sending negative energy. What do you want to say about this? Okay. You're protected by Archangel Michael. All right. Can't touch this. Okay. Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, like the whole crew supports you. All right. So I feel like release any fear. Okay. I feel like focus on what brings you joy, happiness, emotional fulfillment. Make sure that you're working with your guides, your ancestors, and the saints. Okay. We're all on the same team here. You are being represented here as high vibrational, divine feminine, divine masculine. You are worthy. You are enough. Okay. And soon there will be changes in your life. Okay. Because you no longer align with this. So what does that look like for you? I feel like there is energy that wants to communicate. So you may need a little break. So maybe go somewhere that you haven't been before, or go to a favorite place. Water is very significant. And then I would say there's, again, like the new job, new career here, and unexpected income, and take the risk. So some of you will be getting amazing opportunities. Okay. And I feel like they want you to make a wish, but I feel like this past energy is going to watch you succeed. And that's part of their karma. Okay. So it is what it is, right? Just like you may have had to watch them. Guess what? They're going to have to watch you. Okay. And nothing they say can affect it. Nothing they do can affect it. Okay. I feel like they've betrayed themselves in this situation by trying to get over on you. Okay. I feel like they're holding a grudge, and all it's done is ruin their life, and they involved other people in it, and now their lives are affected. And so maybe this person is being seen in an energy of shame. They're feeling shame, or they're being shamed. And that is that Seven of Swords energy. Okay. So I feel like, again, we started with these 4 cards, and we're back to these. All right. So I feel like there's water sign energy here. They're a karmic connection. Okay. I feel like they have karmic family members involved, and I feel like you are being protected by this energy. Okay. Because there's something you're meant to do and create. Okay. I feel like, again, like they're sleeping with the enemy, and they're dealing with legal issues. Okay. In whatever way that plays out, they're resisting change here. Okay. The one thing that's constant is change. Look at 4 of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, and the Devil. Okay. Someone is going to be betrayed because they are sleeping with the enemy. Okay. Legal issues. Sleeping with the enemy. All right. There's a lot of like entertaining our addictions, our codependencies, our agreements. I feel like someone is bound to whatever soul contracts they created by sleeping around. Yeah. More Cups energy. Okay. Again, involving others in all of this. Yeah. I feel like they very much may be held up with the law. Okay. They could be going to jail. They could be dealing with, you know, like we said, the legal issues, but I feel like do unto others as you would do unto yourself is something like that. Oof. Yeah. Lady Justice showing up. This is no bueno. Yeah, I feel like sitting back and just like minding your own business, doing what you're being called to do, is taking that high road, remembering like the response, okay, creates a ripple. And so being mindful of that, being mindful of responding at all, or what type of response, what is the energy exchange you're participating in, what is like the frequency you're taking in, you know, just having some sort of like filtering. Okay. And sometimes not responding for 24 hours to somebody gives you the time to have control versus them having control, and you needing to just, like, they very much could expect you to just respond, right? Or react, I should say. So it's like it's responding versus reacting is what I'm trying to say. Give yourself time to respond if it warrants a response, but it's not in their timing, it's in your divine timing. Okay? Sometimes things don't deserve a response at all. So maybe just observe in that situation. And eventually, like, people have a hard time with silence. They have a hard time with quiet. They have a hard time with there being some sort of emptiness between. And so usually they will follow up because they don't have the patience. And so maybe wait before responding to see what else they may reveal. Okay? I don't know. Yeah, I just shared the stuff. All right, you guys, I love you. I hope you have the most amazing day. We want to thank our angels, our saints, our spirit guides, and our higher selves for working with us today. And I hope that this message finds who needs it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye now.